Yes, we finally got Trump as president. Oh, praise Jesus. This is exactly what we need. Good afternoon, Outliers. Happy election day. Coming to you live from Election HQ over at Fox News, where I absolutely didn't rip off this graphic. Don't tell anybody. Hope you're having an incredible Tuesday, an incredible Election Day Tuesday. If you haven't voted already, please promise me you'll do so today. Tomorrow is not going to count, so you need to vote today. And if you could vote for Donald J. Trump, I think that's a smart call. Good to see you, Dave. Good to see you, Peter. I'll tell you what. This is my plan for the night, right? I will not be live streaming. I know a lot of the YouTube channels that I watch, they're going to be live streaming tonight. I literally don't have time for that. We're going to be gathered around the TV, all with our McDonald's and Diet Coke, for Santa Trump to hopefully come home with the victory tonight. So definitely don't have any political bias, right? For sure not. But here's the deal. I don't claim a political party. I vote based on issues. My issues, the only things I don't want much. I'm a very simple man. I want less taxes and more freedoms. That's it. You give me less taxes, more freedoms, Chris is a happy boy. But filling the United States with illegal immigrants, not great. Filling the United States with criminals who you don't want to prosecute because you're too woke to prosecute them, not great. Messing with children, definitely not great. Putting boys in girls' sports, horrible. While those are my two main things, the other side just has so much stacked against it. So it's so much stacked against it where I'm like, who in the world could possibly vote for them? And the truth is, I cannot comprehend a single person voting for Kamala, who cares? Hopefully today's the last day we ever have to hear about her again. But Republicans are crushing it, as they are titling this video. Republicans are crushing it as the first seats flip. This might be like Senate seats. I'm not entirely sure.
Versus Democrat turnout on election day. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You are not going to want to miss a single video update throughout the day. The general assessment here is that this is a very, very Trumpy, very red electorate coming out today. Now, of course, we're early. Things could change. But right now, as we speak, the Republicans are coming out in enormous numbers. The Democrats, frankly, couldn't be more opposite. Again, it's early. We're all so traumatized from 2020. It's early. We still have...
Dude, so traumatized from 2020. I remember going to bed thinking Trump was going to win. And the next morning, I'm being like, what? And then seeing that curve, you know the curve I'm talking about, where it was like both of them, doing their thing, red and a blue line. And then the blue line just happens to go above the red line and just stays there. It's like, what? How did we let that happen? How do we let that happen, Wes? So yeah, I'm definitely traumatized from then for sure.
Plenty more election day to play out. I have to use that as a caveat here, as I don't want to get you whipped up, but right now, as we speak, all the major indicators point to a very, very big Republican turnout. And we're already seeing it in the U.S. island territory of Guam. Let's start with a little fun.
Okay, I'm glad he brought that up. We've been talking about Puerto Rico in the last couple of weeks. Where does Puerto Rico? Can you please tell me? Because I do not know. I'll have to ask ChatGPT to find out, or maybe Alexa. Alexa, where do the votes go for Guam and Puerto Rico in the U.S. elections? She didn't know that, because I have no idea, right? Because you don't see that on the map. Where do those votes go? Michael's here. Wes says the Democrat turnout seems to increase exponentially around 1 a.m.
On here with the Western Pacific island of Guam. They're reporting their results in as we speak. Now, of course, this is only ceremonial, but if you don't know, Guam went overwhelmingly with Biden back in 2020. Biden won every single county, what we would call counties. He won by 14%.
How did they get their electoral votes? I legit don't know. Vote early, vote often. Dave liked that too. Good to see, Doug.
Of the vote. Again, purely ceremonial, but it does give us a sense of the momentum of where this election is going. So take a look at the vote totals thus far. Look at this with 50% in.
I have to ask ChatGPT because I do not know. Hang on. Where do the electoral votes for Puerto Rico and Guam go in the presidential election? No, you spelled it wrong. They do not have electoral votes, so who gives a shit? They're territories, but not states. Only states and DC are allowed electoral votes in electoral. I didn't know this. Did you know this? Residents of U.S. territories cannot vote in the presidential election. Is that right? Is he somewhere? Somebody messed up, because if they're voting for the presidential election, then ChatGPT is wrong, and ChatGPT has never ever been wrong, not once ever. So you tell me.
Trump is within 3. Trump is within freaking.
Maybe this is just one of those votes where it's like at the elementary schools, right? Where I remember voting for Ross Perot back in 1992. Maybe it's like, who gives a shit kind of vote kind of thing. Mikey Mike is here. Good to see you. Dave says no electoral votes. Then who cares?
3 with 50% of the vote counted. It's an 11-point swing to Trump. She'll, at this rate, she's going to barely pull this off again.
Look, I'm interested in this, but if they have no electoral votes, I give no shits. I think that's a fair trade-off there. Hang on, his ad for gold. Let's see what else he says.
The 7 swing states for the early vote, and that's largely because of the steep decline in Democrat early voting. So that massive lead that they amassed in early voting in 2020 just simply did not reappear. So the fundamental question is, will those Democrats who voted early in 2020 but not in 2024, will they show up on election day? And so far, the answer to that is a big no. And one of the key metrics that we're using to assess.
So I may have skipped over what he was talking about, but basically it's if the same percentages hold true on election day votes versus early votes, that the Democrats don't have enough people who are going to show up on election day as the Republicans do, if the percentages hold true. And the number of Republicans who have already voted early is way higher than it has been in previous elections.
Democrat turnout is the minute-by-minute database of Florida's election day turnout. Again, you can get more information on that from our first video. I go over it in detail. But what we can do here is compare the 2020 Republican to Democrat turnout in terms of the percentage of the electorate to get an idea of the extent to which Democrats are or are not turning out today. Again, because we're leading in 6 of the 7 swing states, when all said and done, this election comes down to whether the election day turnout is red or blue. If it's red, we win. It's that simple. If it's blue, we don't. That's the advantage of going into election day with an early vote lead in the states that matter. So as of the making of this video, the GOP has just surpassed a 1 million ballot
Joe's been done for a while, like 3 years.
Lead over the Democrats in Florida. Florida's absolutely crushing it, but we'd be silly.
What about mailbox ballots? I do not know. My first election was 2004. I was at college and I got the absentee vote, and I voted for George W., who was governor of Texas, who I actually got to meet when I was a little kid. George W. was the first. That was 2004. Yeah, that was the first election I ever got to vote in. And I did that as an absentee ballot. So I don't know where those mailbox ballots go. Dave says, I work from home and had someone from the America PAC, which I think is Musk's PAC, come by today and make sure I had voted and knew where my polling places were. Very cool. Yeah, I saw my neighbor at the gym today and I was like, did you vote? He said, yeah, dude, I voted days ago. And I was like, sweet. We both got Trump signs in our yard for sure. Joe is done. Joe's been done. Is there anything else left in this to hear?
The 37,000 reported election day voters. So it's early, very early, but Republicans make up almost half, 16,358. Democrats are just 7,387. Also, we've got this data coming out of Clark County, Nevada. Again, very, very early. Clark County's reliably blue, by the way. It's Vegas. And admittedly, again, these numbers are very small. So this is just your initial batch here. But I mean, take a look at this. In 2020, the breakdown of the election day vote was 34.2% Republican, 32.7% Democrat, and 33.1% independent. Election day independents, by the way, do tend to be right-leaning, just so you know. But that's the breakdown in 2020 when Biden won by just 2.5. He won Nevada by 2.5. Take a look at this morning. Republicans are up slightly to 34.7%, but look at the Democrats. They're down. They're down 29.4%, and independents are up 35.9%. So once again, we're getting another indicator. When all said and done, Democrats simply aren't coming out. Again, it's early. Things can change. We'll see how the day plays out. But right now, as we speak, that is not good news for the Democrats. Speaking of, one of the most important indicators that early voting can give us for determining the makeup of today's electorate is racial percentages, particularly the percentage of white versus black votes. So the partisan breakdown, of course, is that whites consistently vote Republican. Democrats haven't won the white vote since Lyndon Johnson back in '64. And the black vote votes overwhelmingly Democrat. This election appears to be a bit different in that all the pre-election polling points to the fact that Trump is poised to get the highest black support of any Republican since Richard Nixon. So we're talking about a half a century. But one of the most important states, this is a key bench.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't matter what skin color you have. You look at what happened the last few years, and it's like, I don't want more of that. I want to go back to Trump, right? We get the chance to choose between which one of these two scenarios we've been through. And I think a lot of people are choosing, and not even based on their skin color, but based on, hey, I liked it better when he was in charge versus, oh, inflation sucks. Oh, crime sucks. Illegals suck. Oh, there's so much suckage going on. I'd rather go back to Trump. Just saying. Dave says, George W., which, so I don't know if you guys know this. W was a owner of the Texas Rangers. I don't think he is anymore. And when I was in 4th or 5th grade, we got to go down to Austin, meet him when he was the governor. And then I remember multiple different times I went to different Ranger games, and he was there. And then, of course, I went to the World Series games, not this past year, but previously in 2010, 2011, and he was there as well. So kind of cool. So Dave is saying, W was good friends with my dad's aunt and her husband. Always heard wonderful things about them. They used to dine at the White House regularly. Wow, that's really cool. Super cool. Yeah, W doesn't live too far from me. Very ritzy part of Dallas he lives in, as you would expect, being the former president. I done did tell you what. Let's jump right into, wait a minute, no. I promised myself I would do this because my editors need this for tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to give 2 scenarios. First scenario, the Kamala win, and I'm going to be all bummed because then she can clip that in and be like, one of the first things, right? Oh, Kamala wins. No, I can't believe it. This is the worst day of my life. No. Right. That what is it? That snowflake screaming meme. No. Okay. Or if Trump wins. Yes, we finally got Trump as president. Oh, praise Jesus. This is exactly what we need. Okay. So now that I got that out of the way, my editor can scooch that into the video, and hopefully we can be the very first one out there that says Trump or Kamala wins. I don't want to see Kamala win, but maybe we can just have good old Donnie. Good old Teflon Don take the cake here. Let's go. All right, welcome to the OVTLYR Trading Room. This is smart trading made simple. This is where we save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Christopher Yule. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I've been successfully trading since 2009. I'm a partner with OVTLYR, and this is my style of trading using OVTLYR that I call the golden ticket trading strategy. Now, how does OVTLYR work? Well, real quick, it's a 4-step process. OVTLYR monitors how investors are reacting to changing market conditions, news, price movements, and the economy. OVTLYR determines if investors are acting irrationally fearful or greedy, and by how much. Number 3, OVTLYR gives buy and sell signals. Stumble over my tongue there. OVTLYR gives buy and sell signals when these irrational behaviors reach an extreme. And number 4, allowing you to get into the stock before the OVTLYR move happens. So let's jump into our member highlight and check out what's going on in our Discord. So quite a lot's been going on in the Discord. It's super stoked to see everybody working in there. That is fun. Okay. Dave dropped a link for his trading journal. So y'all go pick up a copy of Dave's trading journal. That's super cool. Mahesh was not online today. I don't know what he's up to. Mikey Mike was asking for the book. So the book is the Secret Investing book. It's on the shelf over there. I've got like 25 copies. I hand it out to people for fun. If you need a copy of the Secret Investing book, go over here to the VIP Investors Toolkit. Scroll up a smidge. You'll see a picture of it. There it is. You can get the Amazon paperback, or you can just get the free download that I've got for you as one of the outliers. So your pick, and it's right there for you anytime. Tugsy just ordered that. And then he said, I'm very motivated to support other outliers, especially you, Dave. You bring so much value to this group. I definitely will leave a review after reading it. Best of luck with the book. And I got to say, Dave really is a rock star. Dave is absolutely an awesome, awesome, awesome part of our team. And I really appreciate you, Dave, for doing as much as you do. Let's jump back over here. Dave says, thanks so much. Really appreciate that. Would really appreciate if you could leave a review on Amazon. We're all in this together. We're learning from everyone every day. That's what makes this community different from all the other groups. And so I was replying to Mikey Mike here. Tug says, I couldn't agree more, Dave. The level of expertise Mahesh, Mark, and Chris have is so obvious. The evolution of OVTLYR with constant updates and upgrades, along with the continual refining of Chris's trading rules with the platform, and of course, members of this group, with the openness and willingness to help those of us who are still learning and building our knowledge, reaffirms daily that I'm with a group of very talented folks. I am honestly so grateful I found OVTLYR and this group. Tug, I'm going to drop this over in the share your big wins real quick, because that is a awesome endorsement. Thanks for that. All right, let's get back over to the general here. Dave says, I feel fortunate I found OVTLYR and the team early in his trading experience. He had a bad couple of months starting off. Then everything stabilized when I started learning and listening to what Chris and the group had to say. Listen, Dave, I made all the mistakes. I made all the mistakes. Okay. I'm just glad that y'all are listening so you don't make all the mistakes too. It cost me, dude, conservatively, I would put conservatively, I've lost $200,000 in mistakes. Conservatively, probably more, maybe closer to 3. I don't want you to have to do that, okay? I really don't. Because I would rather you keep those monies than lose those monies. I'm just saying. I am almost embarrassed to say I spent a ton of time reading and studying, but I'm also viewing this as a possible career transition for me. So I put myself completely into trading on top of everything else. That journal is the first of several other topics that he's working on, and then not as well as nonfiction, true crime, and a couple of fiction books. That's super exciting. Definitely busy, but I enjoy all of it so much more than my old government job, for sure. Mikey Mike says, so much valuable information here. It's downright intimidating. Is there a video explaining the covered call? Sounds like a really cool way to trade. I just listened to audio and was reading along with it, but I think I need some visuals to fully grasp how it works. All right. So to help out with Mikey Mike here, let's jump into a covered call. I consider covered calls like the gateway drug to trading options. For sure. So let's talk about what a covered call is versus a stock. Open image and new tab. Okay. So imagine this orange line is the stock. Okay. So you buy the stock today. If the stock goes up in value, you're profitable. If the stock goes down in value, you're not. It's really simple. But with the covered call, let's say you own 100 shares of stock. Okay. You can sell one call option per 100 shares. So if you have 500 shares, you can sell 5 call options. Now, with a call option, the way that it works is you can collect premium, meaning the amount you sold it for, you can collect as premium. So for example, if it's $100 stock and you sold a out of the money call for $1, okay, you get to collect that dollar. And that makes what you bought, instead of it being $100 a share, actually $99 a share. Like legit reduces your cost basis in the trade. It's really cool, right? And for somebody who just wants to pump up basic stock trading, this is the one super simple strategy. Which way is it? One super simple strategy I'd totally recommend to anybody. Now, here's a couple other cool things. I actually call this the triple stock profit system. So Dave, or not Dave, but Mike, if you want to check out that, it takes it one step further what the covered call is. So you find a covered call, or you find a stock that sells that you can sell call options on. Okay, then you find it one where it also pays a dividend, right? So imagine you got $100 stock, it pays a 50-cent dividend, and every month you're selling a new $1 option. So you can collect the dividend, you can collect the option, and you can reduce the price by $2, $3, $4, $5, maybe even more per year. And if you plan to hold that, you're not, you actually have no risk in the trade because your call that you've sold is offset by the number of shares you have. Then additionally, if the stock goes up in value, right? Let's say it moves from 100, you sold it out of the money 105 call. If it goes from 100 to 105, right? Imagine stock price is here at 100. Let me draw on this. Stock price is here at 100. And this is 105, which is the out of the money call that you sold. Right? You get to keep the $5 in appreciation between A and B. Now, here's the part where a lot of people get confused and they're like, oh, covered calls are a scam or whatever. Because if the stock goes over 105 at expiration, right? Let's say it goes up to 110. You get to keep all of that delta here. You get to keep the $5. Okay? But you don't get the $5 extra from 105 to 110. But you do get to keep the call premium that you took in. So let's say you made $6 on the trade, right? So a lot of people get really frustrated because they look at this and they're like, why would I ever sell calls? I'm limiting my profits. You absolutely are limiting your profits. But if you're selling it over and over and over, you're reducing your cost basis by potentially $1 every single month. You do that enough times, you could theoretically have a free stock and you can just go to whatever. So as long as it doesn't breach this point, then you'll get to keep all of that capital allocation, right? And let's say, it goes up to 104. Well, next month you can sell it at 107. Doesn't mean you have to be stuck at 105. You can just move that up, right? You can just move. If the stock's going up and it never breaks your strike that you sold, you can just continue to move it up, basically infinity. So it's a really, really cool strategy. That's just a high level view of it. And you know what, dude? If you've never traded options before, this is a great, great way to just get in and make some additional income on that. That's the way that people look at it, right? It's an income generating trade. I don't think of trading as income. I think of trading as capital appreciation. Other people try to make it income. I feel like that's a risky game. I feel like that's setting yourself up for expectations that could be hard to manage, right? Because income, you want to have income. Right? You're expecting that every month. It's not like you're buying a treasury security at a 5%, right? Let's say you had $5 million at 5%, $10 million at 5%. You'd make, what would that be? 10 times 0.05. That'd be $500,000 a year, right? If I had $10 million, that's what I'd do with it. And then I could live on $500,000 a year, risk-free. Risk-free. I don't have to do anything. That would be income to me. But if you're trading around that, there are going to be months where you don't make your nut. That's what people call it. When you don't make your nut. And then what are you going to do? So for me, I look at trading as capital appreciation because then I can take that 10 million and turn it into 20 versus trying to take that 10 million and try and scratch 500,000 a year out of it. Just my own personal opinion. Let's catch up on the chat here. Brian says, I would disagree with you about the skin color and who's in office. There's a different public feel in Georgia under Trump than Dem. Really? Tell me more, Brian. I had a really awesome, I don't even know where I could find that, Brian. I know it's saved somewhere on my computer, but I had the opportunity to meet with Brian in Atlanta a couple years ago. That was really cool. So, Brian, let us know, right? Please share. Doug was laughing at me. Dave says, thank you. Just trying to help. Learned a lot and really enjoy giving back. Mikey says, got it. Thank you. Just trying to help. Oh, wait a minute. Dave said that twice. All good. Okay, so let's go back over to here. Be sure to share your stories in the Discord. We are here to help you. We are really building a huge community here of like-minded people. And it really, really, really is awesome that you guys are going in and helping each other. right? That's exactly what we want to do, right? Just imagine how great this is going to be the more it expands and the more people that we can help with Outlier. So please continue to do so. Let us know in the Discord if we can help you in any way. And of course, tell everybody about Outlier. That's the first rule. Hit the like button because I know you're already subscribed, and that lets YouTube tell everybody as well. Now let's go to the market. What I want to see, I don't have transmitter rope. It's a 10 over the 20, price over the 50 if I'm going long. And I don't have that. But I also don't have the opposite to go short. Nothing is really happening over the last few days, right? If you want to consider it, price is at what it was just a couple days ago. And it's been basically flirting sideways. And what I do see here is potential, right? Potential bounce off the 50 EMA. But this is why I didn't go short, right? The 10 was under the 20 yesterday and today, but price is not under the 50, right? So this is like no man's land. But you can see right here how quickly this could reverse. This could reverse very quickly with these two moving averages stacked so close to each other. So right now, the trend is sideways. Now, looking at the market breadth, we slam this to the right, pop on the 10 EMA. This could absolutely cross back up tomorrow. Market breadth could cross back up tomorrow, just that quick. So let's go look at the SPY, because what I want to see in the master key before I look into anything is I want to see the SPY signal be matching the market trend and the market breadth. Right now, this is bearish turning bullish. This is bearish potentially turning bullish. Where does SPY go? I know it's got a sell signal. Got a sell signal with the price trajectory oscillator pointing down and the heat map also going down. So I don't think we're about to see a buy signal anytime soon. Oh, and we lost the green overlay a couple days ago. Yeah. So I don't think we're about to see a buy signal come through anytime soon. But I also don't know if we're going to see a crash, right? I really don't know. But I'll tell you one thing, I will not be putting any red American cents at risk today going into the election. I've already told you my story about that. But you can do you. That's what I always like to say. You do you. If you feel like you can take a risk today, by all means, go for it. Brian just said, Outliers changed the path I was headed down and improved my outlook. I was going down the path of writing code and scanners to drive my trading decisions based on numerous ideas and painful learnings through trial and error. This has also put me on the path to trade more expeditiously and effectively. Very cool, Brian. Throw all the emojis at you. All right, so won't be trading today, but I do want to jump right back into New Trader, Rich Trader. So I think Mikey Mike said that he got his copy of it yesterday. Did you start reading it yet? I know it's kind of like 7th grade. We're kind of reading it together in class, right? But I feel like this is very useful, and I hope that you're getting a lot of good information out of this, especially going back through and like these are the notes that I took. I don't even know. I think like 2014, 15, something like that. So it's cool to see the notes again. So we're on chapter 7. New traders bet the farm. Rich traders carefully control position size. I just recently learned about this. Lambos or food stamps. It's like a thing with the Reddit community, right? Like the Wall Street bets. Lambos or food stamps. It's either a Lambo or food stamps t-shirt. Let's see this. Yeah, that's not the way you should trade. Not at all. In fact, I think you should do quite the opposite. I think you should control your trading size. Your first job as a trader is to focus on the correct trading process, not profits. Now, on this is one of the things that I'm a huge advocate for, which is turning off your P&L. I want you to go into your broker platform the next time you open it up and turn off the P&L. You can have the percent on there, but don't look at the dollars. Do not look at the dollars. And I'll tell you why. Because when you see the dollars, right? Let's say, for example, you put on trade and you're up $10,000, right? That is so exciting. And then maybe you're up $40,000 and you're like, oh man, this is awesome. I'm up 40 grand on this trade. I could go buy a Tesla, right? you start thinking about all these amazing things you could do, and you stop focusing on execution. And then you see it go from 40 to 30, 40 to 20, and you're like, I'm still up 20,000. Who cares? I'm still making all this money. Who cares? And then you're up 10. And you're like, well, you know what? I could have got out when I had 40, but I'm still up 10. And then you're back to nothing. Or the opposite's true, right? Maybe you're in a losing trade and you see you're down 10 grand and you can't sleep at night. You're down 20 grand and you're like, how could I let this happen? Oh my gosh. And then you're like, I'll be a long-term investor in this case, right? I think we've all been there. But your job is to focus on the signals. If you get your signal, you have to act. And that's why I say turning off your P&L allows you to focus on the signal, focus on what is happening without the money emotion tied to it. Money is energy, right? When you remove the energy aspect of it and you can focus on execution, you will be more successful. Absolutely, you'll be more successful because you're taking away an emotional pull, the distraction, the excitement and the fear and the greed that we talk about, right? When you turn off your P&L and you only focus on execution, it gets way easier. Trading becomes so much easier. It becomes like playing a game. And when I say playing a game, it's like when you go in Mario and you're collecting all the coins, right? Hear me out. You're collecting the coins along the way, right? You're bouncing on turtles, you're eating mushrooms and all that kind of stuff you do in Mario. And you're just collecting your coins along the way, right? That's cool. And at the end of the game, you're like, oh, I had 4,000 coins. But if you're going through the game and you know that every time you die, you lose all your coins, or every time one of the turtles hits you, right, you lose your coins. Maybe Sonic the Hedgehog's a better example, because when you get hit in Sonic the Hedgehog, all of your rings like explode out of you, right? If you're focusing on, oh no, I can't lose my coins, I can't beat the game if I lose my coins, you're no longer focusing on the game, you're focusing on the coins. And you're focusing on the coins, you're losing your track on the objective here. And the objective with trading is follow your signals. So that's why I say turn off your P&L. Just turn off your P&L today. Don't ever look at it again. The only time I know how much money I'm making in my account is in a spreadsheet. I don't even know. I have it turned off in a way where the only thing that I do is I look at my position size, my opening and close price, and then the spreadsheet takes the difference, right? And then it adds in my commissions into it. So I don't even know in my trading account how much I'm up or how much I'm down, because I don't care when it's an open profit. Sometimes it's exciting. You're like, whoa, I know I'm doing good. And you can look at your P&L bar, like the percent scale, and you're up 12, 15, 30%. You're like, oh, this is great. But you can do the same and know like, hey, this is getting tight, right? I'm down on 6, 7, 8, 12%. Maybe I need to cut it. But when you put dollars with it, it changes it dramatically, right? So that's one of my pro tips. I pontificated on that far too long, but that is a pro tip I would absolutely recommend. There were significant problems with new trader making this trade. It was against his trading plan, which you should never do. He didn't understand the nature of what he would be trading, right? It'd be like jumping into options for the first time, never having researched them or understood what it is. He had not researched the history of the stock's price, so he didn't know the potential for failure. Ooh, that's interesting. It was an all or nothing bet. If the options expired worthless, he would lose the entire trading account. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And with options, you can lose more than your trading account, which is also a really bad deal. Don't do that. Fortunately for him, his trepidation caused him to listen to another one of his emotions, fear. Fear can cripple a trader, but it's also helpful if you have enough fear to keep you safe from greed. And that's when it hit him. He was too embarrassed to talk a trade over with his trading mentor. If he was too embarrassed to talk it over with his trading mentor, he shouldn't be making that trade, which I agree, right? If you can't go on YouTube and explain why you made this trade, you probably shouldn't be making that trade, right? And for me, I want to see everything all lined up, and I think you should too. I think if a trade does not fit your entire trading plan top to bottom, right? Imagine that every stock out there could fit in a funnel and only a few are going to fall out right to the bottom. That's why I designed it this way. If you can't explain and articulate why you would take the trade, then you shouldn't be taking the trade. Why wasn't he watching the financial news? Oh, hang on. He arrived at Rich Trader's house unannounced in the middle of the week. He was surprised to see him answer the door in his PJs with a book in his hand. How odd. Why wasn't he watching the financial news? Why wasn't he at his desk, glued to his monitor? Dude, I would hate it if that was how trading had to be. Are you doing any trading today? I have some trailing stops in, so if my positions reverse, I'll be sold out. I'll check in the last hour of the day. That should sound familiar, to see if I should enter any new trades or any other stops. Huh. Sounds like us. New Trader was dumbfounded. He didn't understand how Rich Trader had an account this size, doing this for a living. He could be so blasé about his trading. And this is something I have picked up on, that I say flippant, right? When I'm in my trading, I can be very flippant in my trading, where it's just like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm in or out. Whereas some people get so tied up in the trades, emotionally speaking, on the dollars. So I can totally empathize with that. You've seen me do it too, for sure. Well, we all hate to lose money, but my sells are based on hitting a predetermined stop loss and not my opinions. I also trade a system, not my predictions, but what the market will do. There's no need to sit at my desk or watch financial news all day, because those things could cause me to be impulsive and make trades that go against my trading plan. The greatest determiner of your risk is the size of your trade. I would never risk more than 1% of my loss on any trade, maybe 2% if I wanted to be aggressive and go for larger returns. Mine, I was at 4% for a long time, and then 5%, and then recently I bumped it up to 7%. And things are working great, right? And you can be the judge of if that's going to work for you, right? If I was putting on 7% trades, 7% of risk, and losing 7% each time, I don't know if I would continue to do that. But the way that I've structured it is I'm putting on 7% of 7% risk size, not position size. Position size is more like 15 to 20. 7% risk size, and then my average is like 2% hit to the account, positive or negative. And it's like, I can trade really big, and yet the actual change to my account is roughly about 2%, positive or negative. And that's okay with me. The more aggressively you pursue returns through exposing your account to risk, the greater likelihood of larger drawdowns in capital. Good trades are generally ones which show a profit from the beginning. Yes, I fully agree with that. So if you don't keep a constant position size and good risk reward, you'll distort your payoff ratio. A payoff ratio? What is that? Basically, the ratio of the average winning trade to the average losing trade. The larger this ratio is, the better chance you'll have a winning strategy. It's difficult to be a successful trader with a payoff ratio under 1.5. The ratio is calculated by dividing the gross profits by gross losses. Most traders want at least $2 of reward for every $1 risk, which is what the 5% loss versus a 10% win scenario with the 50% win rate would get you. What is my payoff ratio? 10 seconds here. I got it. So I'm going to look at the master key, because this is what we have been trading exclusively since July. So my payoff ratio is actually not that huge. I've got it right here. It's 1.1. Now, I will tell you that I would love to see that higher. Without a doubt, I'd love to see that higher. Steve was saying, you'd really want 2 to 1, right? For every 10% win, you have a 5% loss. But here's the deal. An 80% win rate, you can't see that, sorry. An 80% win rate trumps trying to get 2x higher, right? If this was at 50% and this was at 20 and 10, then that would be more along the lines of what he's looking at. But an 81% win rate, which is what we've been trading since July, that is astronomically huge. So you don't have to take as much risk in this case, right? Because if you're waiting for those 10% returns, you could be waiting forever. It's not whether right or wrong that's important, but how much money you make when you're right and how much you lose when you're wrong. Just a note in here says popular point. That's from George Soros, which before he became the bad guy from Batman, was actually a incredible trader. An important and often overlooked trading dynamic is the importance of taking trades that have the potential to be big wins or small losses. Big losses will deplete your account quickly, and small wins will do little to pay off those losses. Trades need to be asymmetric. The downside is carefully planned and managed, but the upside is open-ended. This is an important element of successful trading. So that's going to wrap it for today, right? Of course, there's so much that you can take away with trading, and this is why New Trader, Rich Trader is one of my all-time favorite trading books, and I'm really glad that we can do this together because I feel like it's super helpful, right? Especially since, I mean, I learned so much from this book in particular. That's why I say that everybody should read it. What did it cost you, Mikey Mike? Like $8? Worth every penny. Listen, thank you so much for being an outlier. We couldn't do this without you, and we want to pay you back every single day by helping you save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. Mahesh told me today that there is an issue with the deal, and it's still going on right now. I think he said it might even be going on till the end of the week. That was not intentional, but if you haven't got the annual plan yet, you can save 45%. Which is just 90 cents a day, which, like I said, this was supposed to end at the end of the month, but you're lucky because it actually is still going on. Let us know if you need anything in the Discord, and be sure to tell everybody about Outlier. And I know you're already subscribed, so hit that like button for me so YouTube tells everybody as well. And have an incredible election evening. And do me a favor. If you haven't voted, go vote today. Your vote won't hang out tomorrow. So please, please, please vote today. You don't have to vote for Trump, but I think you totally should. Peter says, thanks. Enjoy the McDonald's. Y'all have a great day, and we'll talk soon.